Hi everyone and welcome to Club 2 episode 25 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. It's great to have you with me. Hope you're all well. I'm doing pretty good and looking forward to another week of Football Manager. So on this particular episode we've got a really tough game. Recent form's been mixed. Since the last time you and I were together for the Cardiff Met Uni game, we had a couple of draws which were a bit average really, and then a slightly underwhelming good positive run. We've had 3 wins in a row, 1 in the Welsh Cup, 2 in the Premier League of Wales, and they've all been 1-0 wins, but it's been a little bit drab. It's not been particularly exciting, and we haven't really taken the scruff of the neck of any of those games particularly, and struggled occasionally just to get the 1-0, but it is what it is. We got the points. You can see in terms of the league table, we are struggling a lot now to keep hold of the 2 ahead of us. It doesn't mean that we can't in the next few games draw them back in a little bit, because we play both of them, and the first of those games is today against Barry Town at the top of the table. So we can reel them back in a little bit, but it's going to be tough because the standards that they're setting are really, really high. In terms of the team that we've got currently going and that have been working in the last couple of games, there's been a change. Hazel has come out of the side and gone onto the bench, and the reason for that is that he's been a little bit underwhelming. I mean, he's done okay, but he hasn't done anything particularly good, and the press have been all over him recently, suggesting that he's not up to the standard that we need, and am I confident in him and all that stuff. And I just felt the need to just take him out the firing line just for a game or two and put Evans back in, who's played quite a lot for us over the last couple of seasons, and see whether he can sort of steady the ship a little bit in midfield. And you can see over the last couple of games that we've had 1-0 wins and it's been okay, so it's gone alright. But yeah, Hazel will get another opportunity, I'm sure, at some point. The other thing I want to do today, just before we get into the game, is highlight my central defensive partnership, who have been pretty good. So I'm going to show you the comparison between the two of them and just highlight a few things. So you can see on their chart that they've got a couple of differences about them. Bentker is a slightly better, not Bentker, Oliver Gardner is a slightly better defender and has got mental stats and aerial stats that are better. But in terms of Bentker, he's more got the more physical stats, the speed, etc. So they contribute and counter each other quite well. You can see that Bentker hasn't got the best actual attributes in terms of the technical stuff, where I think mostly Gardner's is pretty good. But as I say, the balance comes in the physical attributes for Bentker, where he stomps all over Gardner really, and that's where they help each other out. And the partnership has worked pretty well, I would say. I would expect a little bit more from both of them if I could get it, but I think in general terms they've done quite well. And yeah, just going through them a little bit just to show you what comes up on their reports, etc. I think it's a decent enough partnership. Both got a star rating of 3 and still got lots of potential to grow. They're not old by any stretch really. 19 for Bentker and 24 for Gardner. I think those are good ages. And if we could keep them together for the next few seasons, if we were going to stay that long, I think this is a partnership that could work long term. So I just thought, every so often I'll show you a couple of players in this particular team and how it sort of fits together. And today it was the 2 central defenders. So there you go. That's Bentker and Gardner, and I think they've done a pretty good job for us. So the team for today is Fuller in goal, Harden at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, as we've just seen, Evans, Rogers and Smith in central midfield, with Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left and Busumbru up top, and a bench of Hope, Nichols, Hazel, Pritchard, Fenlon and Rickards. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So as has been the case recently, I haven't given a team talk at the start of the game. I've found it better to give them an opportunity to go out there with clear minds and just see how they get on. It's just something I've been doing fairly recently and it seems to be working a little bit. So there was no particular team talk. But yeah, let's see how we get on against Barry Town. I mean, obviously our form is good without being spectacular, and that's a penalty within 7 minutes of the opening whistle. That's brilliant. Can Busumbru convert the penalty? And I would expect him to, really. I think he's got that quality. So steps up and very nicely done into that bottom right hand corner as we look at it. And that's a brilliant start for us. That puts all the pressure on Barry Town to try and come back at us. A replay of the penalty, nicely put away by Busumbru. Side-footed into that bottom corner, very controlled. And here's a good chance for us on the right side of our defence. Goes long to Busumbru, who wins the header, but there was nobody making a run off of him, and the ball goes back to Barry Town. And again, let's see if we can hold the shape properly and work our magic in trying to get it back again. And almost got it there from Harden down in that bottom right hand corner, but they still come at us and pass the ball nicely to maintain possession. Good quick passing, isn't it? And we're trying not to run too much after Shadows, but that's a good ball through, and they get a chance for a decent corner cross in here, and they get one. And have we given a penalty away now? Oh, I think that looked a little bit harsh, but okay. I reckon he dived. I reckon he fell over, personally, but we'll go with it. So penalty for Barry Town. Can he convert it? He can. Fuller goes the right way, but didn't quite get the leap on him to cover the goal enough to get a hand on it. And we go 1-1 after 28 minutes of the game. And it was another nicely converted penalty right in that bottom corner, wasn't it? He'd been taking notes off Busumbru, but a highlight straight away for us. Is that a good omen? Can we get the ball through to have a good chance at goal ourselves, or are we going to lose possession and get sucker punched again on the counter-attack? But no, we keep the ball so far. Nicely moved right the way across the team over to Sarmento on the right-hand side. Cross comes in, and that's a brilliant response. Immediate response from Rowlands it was. Sarmento does all the good work on the right-hand side, cuts in, puts the ball right across to the other side, the other attacking wide man, and it's Rowlands with their nice header straight past the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper possibly could have done better, but he was completely misfooted, wasn't he? Heading back across the goalkeeper. That's always a good technique. So now the challenge, of course, of this sort of half-time team talk is how do you maintain that motivation? And I think we'll have to praise them, basically, to keep them thinking that it's going well. So I'm pleased with how things are going. Keep it up. And that got a good response from them. There's nobody with any injury issues. We've got a yellow card for Rogers, so we'll maybe look at him coming off later so we don't get suspensions. But other than that, it's okay just to go straight back into the second half. There was no issues at half-time at all. Can we make this count? And early in the second half, a bit like we did in the first half, get a decent chance that we can convert and pull ourselves clear a little bit more of Barry Town in this game. Rowlands with the header on, but it didn't quite reach Busumbru, slightly misdirected, and Barry Town go over the top, but we win it. Bentker, there's one of our good central defensive partnership, Bentker, that we highlighted in the first half, and they win back possession and go along again to Busumbru, but he loses out in their defensive area. They go past both of our defenders on that occasion, get to the byline, cuts it back to the top of the penalty box, has another attempt, and it's a good shot, isn't it, from Jones. Some good movement there by Barry Town of the ball, and once they got to the byline we were in trouble trying to keep them out and push them out, and it didn't quite work. Fraser did all the good work here, cuts it back very nicely. Jones into Pearson, 1-2 back to Jones, and it just unsettled everybody. You saw that gap through the centre of our penalty box, and he managed to find it and put it in the back of the net, and we go to 2-2. Baker with a goal kick for Barry Town into the midfield area. They win the ball, which is disappointing. I would hope that, with us looking at the ball coming towards us, we would win it. And eventually we get a foot on it, but we go too long too early and we lose it again. But we regain it again and lose it again. It's just how this game works for us. Gardner, no. We highlighted them at the beginning and one of them has messed up. I swear that I get the commentator's curse or the manager's curse or the football manager curse or something. The minute you say anything or do anything to highlight somebody in particular or how you're playing, it all goes immediately to pot and it comes back to haunt you. And it's such a disappointing pass back from Gardner. I can't believe that he did it. And they sneak in between defender and goalkeeper and put it in the back of the net for 3-2. And we're going to have to do something about this. We'll watch this highlight go through and see what we can do in terms of the change of personnel. They're going to get another chance and it's gone wide. Here we go. We need to change a few things. So we've got very average ratings right the way through the side. Offensively, it's not too bad. Defensively, Not good at all. Harden will come off, Nichols will go on, we'll take Rodgers off, put Pritchard on, Owens can stay, and let's change one of these attacking guys just to see if we can get some fresh impetus up front. So we're going to take off Smith. No, we're not going to take off Smith. We're going to take off Sarmento and put Jake Fenlon on. He's done pretty well when he's played for us fairly recently. So let's hope he can do that again. So yeah, into the last couple of minutes, let's pause the game and we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to shout, show some passion, and then we're going to go very attacking and just see if we can get back that one goal and get a draw out of the game. I don't know whether I expect us to be able to win from this point. We'll give it a good go, but if we could get something out of this game against the top side in the division, I think that would be really helpful to our cause. It doesn't drag us back to them, of course, but it does potentially give us an extra point over those behind us. But here they come again, another opportunity for them to come back at us, and we've been hit again. That's potentially the very attacking nature of our side now, isn't it? That we're going to leave gaps somewhere for them to exploit, and we did on this particular occasion. And the scoreline is going to look a little bit worse than I think it actually was. We've done some fairly ordinary things defensively, but in the end, they've had some good quality about them, some good finishing about them, and they're showing why they're sitting top of the league. And I think, to be honest, at this point in the season, a loss here like we're going to receive, it looks like, I think that's potentially us done for the title. I don't think we can drag ourselves all the way back to them, because I just think they're too good, and they're on too good a run of form for them to continue to lose that. Surely that was offside. We'll have to check that again. Surely not a fifth goal. I think it might have been offside, but if it's not, I know we've gone very attacking, and I probably should change it now, but we're 5-2 down. We've got to... let's go... I don't know what to do now, really. It was a good ball over the top. I'm still, not totally convinced whether he was onside or offside, but what can you do? 5-2 against Barry Town. You expect them to be difficult, but after the start that we made, I thought we were going to do fairly well. And we started the second half pretty well, and then it all just kind of crumbled, didn't it? And I know that I went ultra attacking, but we were already down at that point and had to do something about it. But it's a very, very disappointing result, and we're going to have to tell them that. And we'll see in the schedule what we've got coming up. We've got a couple of games against Kevin Druids, we've got Afan Lido, and we've got the New Saints in the Premier League before we play them in the Welsh Cup fourth round. Thanks very much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying the series so far. If you are, subscribed to the channel, keeps you up to date with the videos that I release. If you like this particular episode, I didn't. I hated it. It was awful. I don't like Barry Town now. But anyway, if you enjoyed the episode, please click that like button. Really helps me get seen by other people. But until next time, thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon, and bye for now.